Okay.
Okay. I'd like to call the meeting of the St. Louis County Board of Zoning Adjustment to order. The board members present today are Janet Herman, Chairman, Angelia Bills, Vice Chairman, and Justin Randall, Member. The BZA Coordinator is Debbie Nesbitt, and Staff Planner is Abby Freudel, and Staff Member is Mel Wilson. First, I offer into the record the affidavit of publication pertaining to today's meeting, April 6, 2022. The board hereby takes official notice of and admits into evidence on the record the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance Chapter 1003, St. Louis County Revised Ordinance 1974 as amended, and Chapter 1004, St. Louis County Revised Ordinance 1974 as amended. Next, I call for a motion to approve the minutes of the previous BZA meeting of March 23rd, 2022.
So moved.
I will second. The hearing procedure is informal, but is a teleconference and is recorded. The planning staff will read each request into the record. The petitioner will be unmuted, state their name, and make a brief presentation to the board explaining the reason and hardship for the requested variance. The board will not consider financial hardships. Board members may ask questions to clarify the facts. When the board is satisfied with the material presented, the chairperson will then ask if there is anyone in favor or opposition to the request. To indicate you would like to speak, click the hand next to your name. If any comments were submitted, staff will read them into the record. Before a call for the vote, the petitioner may request a continuance in order to bring in additional documentation. The board may also request a continuance to gather additional information or for a visit to the site. Once comments have been heard, the chairperson will call for a vote. At that time, the discussion has ended and no further discussion is permitted. The board will generally make a decision today. 2 members of the board must vote in favor of the petition for it to be approved. If a variance is approved, you have 6 months to obtain the necessary permits or establish the use requested, or the variance will expire. The petitioner or any interested party has the right of appeal to the St. Louis County Circuit Court. This must be done within 30 days of the decision. Paperwork indicating the board's decision will be mailed to the petitioners.
(29-22) Matthew Brown, Fireplace Bar, requests an exception to the regulations that govern the enlargement, extension, construction, reconstruction, or structural alteration of a non-conforming use, land, or structure for the purpose of expanding an existing bar to allow outside dining and new kitchen area at 3377 Tree Court Lane, as required by the NU non-urban regulations and section 1003.170 non-conforming uses, lands, and structures of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. And Matthew Brown, you are unmuted to give your presentation.
Well, and we heard this last time, but I think Justin was not here. I think Angelia
Correct.
would vote. Okay.
Yeah, and I watched the hearing via the YouTube as well.
Yeah, I don't know that he needs to present again. I think
Okay.
Justin will just need to cast his vote.
So is that all you're looking for is my vote?
Is that right, Debbie? I think she said yes.
I believe so.
Yes,
Okay.
that's all we need.
So based on the testimony that I heard on the recording and reading through the petition, I'm not sure what the initial recommendation was, but I'm going to side on the vote of no.
All right. Well, that's 2 no's and 1 yes. Then.
Is that all for this petition?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
31-22 Stephen Picker requests an exception to allow the construction of a 24-foot by 40-foot detached garage, which will be more than half the footprint of the home, and to maintain an alternate dust-proof surface in lieu of a paved driveway at 10573 Ridge Avenue as required by Section 4 of the R3 Residence District Regulations and Section 1003.165 off-street parking and loading requirements of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. I actually do not believe we have anyone on the call for this one at this time.
Okay, well, I guess we could go ahead and go to the next one and then hopefully they can get on.
Okay. (32-22) Terry and Renee Siegel requests an exception to the rear yard regulations for the purpose of constructing a patio cover at 1 Westbrook Terrace Court, maintaining a rear yard of 12 feet in lieu of 15 feet as required by the R3 Residence District Regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance and PEU Ordinance 11607. Okay, Jason Frisch, you are unmuted to give your presentation.
Okay, thank you. So we would like to build a patio cover to fit the existing patio that's there now. It's concrete. And we would like to utilize the entire width of it basically, because it's 27 by 17. And we're trying to make it 17-foot wide, from the house, just to be able to utilize all of it, if not wind-driven rain and stuff comes like that, onto the patio. And then it's kind of useless for, 5-10 feet of it when it's wet. So they do have a drainage system in the backyard already. So that patio cover will be draining into that. So that'll keep all the excess water from getting in like the neighbor's yard and stuff like that and washing out. So that's what we're looking for. We're trying to use that extra 3 feet to get the full width of the patio cover.
Oh, that's a picture I was looking for. Okay, so you're talking about just covering the patio part?
Correct.
So, so there would still be that green grass there and then the drainage.
Absolutely.
I think from one of the other pictures that was sent to me earlier was, and then I think there's a little grassy area. Oh yeah, there, and then the fence. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll utilize that and keep that grass there, and then that way we can put our piers right to the edge of the concrete, and then it's all built in one, and it looks nice.
Mm-hmm. And so your hardship was what?
The 3 feet for the 15 that's required.
No, I mean the hardship for putting on a cover.
Oh, to utilize the back patio area because they have a lot of rain that comes in there and they have a hot tub right there. So they'd like to have that covered so they can use it year round. And also have people outside, keep the shade, keep it shaded.
This is a question for staff. I noticed this is a corner lot, correct? It's bound on two sides by a street. And so does that require a front yard, a rear, and just one side then?
Yes.
Okay.
Angelia, do you have any questions?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Justin, do you have any other questions?
No.
Okay. So if there's anyone that wants to speak on behalf of this petition, for it or against it, if you could hit the hand next to your name to speak.
I don't see anyone.
All right. 32-22, I'm going to go to approve the variance. The hardship being, well, they'd like to use it, have more use of the patio more year round than they have now. And it is a corner lot. And so, and also is still quite a ways away from the neighbor. So I don't think there'd be any difficulties there with the neighbor.
I second it.
I'll concur.
Okay, we'll send you your paperwork.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
(33-22) Melville School District requests an exception to the off-street parking requirements for the purpose of allowing the deletion of required bicycle parking at 2050 Union Road, Bierbaum Elementary School, as required by the R5 Residence District Regulations and Section 1003.165 off-street parking and loading requirements of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. Okay, Steve Quigley, you are unmuted to give your presentation.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name's Steve Quigley with Clayton Engineering, representing Melville School District. They are requesting an exception to the bicycle parking at this location. One, it's an elementary school, and two, it's located on two 5-lane roads. We have Union Road and Rivas Barracks Road, which are really the only way for the children to get to the school. So they would prefer to not participate in the bicycle parking to deter children from riding bikes to this location. They believe that it's unsafe for the kids to be riding on those 5-lane roads to and from school, let alone because of the pandemic and how things are evolving. Parent pickup and drop off traffic has increased along with their bus traffic. So they really don't like to have children on bicycles around these locations. And that's the reason for our request for the variance.
Okay. Angelia, do you have any questions?
I don't.
Staff, can I go back to the aerial? Please. Thank you. Steve, just a question for you. I mean, isn't there a Grant Trail extension right through this area, near the school? I guess it doesn't maybe get to them.
Yeah, it does not get to the school, no.
It'll be east on Rivas Barracks, the trail
East,
crossing.
okay.
Mhm.
I couldn't remember which side of the
Southeast, sort of.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I can understand some of the concern. I'm familiar with that area, Union and Rivas, and the interstate being right there. You know, high traffic users at the corners with, I think QT's one of them, and another C store on the opposite side. I mean, I understand the concern, but for staff, is there any bike accommodation plans for this area to tie into that Grants Trail? Do you know?
So there is a subdivision. If you look at the north of this aerial, the parcel labeled 1780 in the very north, that's on Union, and then they've actually there's a subdivision under review right now for that parcel. And Abby, if you'll just hover over the other one, where these two creeks kind of come together, the trail will actually be extended to that point to provide access for those new homes, but it doesn't come out to Union.
Okay.
Okay.
So are the kids currently using the bicycle racks or do you have the bike racks there now?
I don't believe there are any at this location. And again, they really discourage the kids from trying to bike to this location. You know, it's 7, 8, 9-year-old kids on roads like that with the traffic that he mentioned coming off the interstate. It's just not a safe situation.
Okay. Is there anyone here that wants to speak for or against this petition? Please hit the hand next to your name so you can speak.
I do not see anyone.
Okay.
Okay, hearing none, 33-22, I vote to approve the variance. as advertised, and the hardship being the need for increased safety around the school.
I'll second.
I'm gonna dissent from that.
Okay. So it's 2-1. So, Mr. Quigley, we'll be sending you the paperwork.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Thirty-four 22 Matthew Markway requests an exception to the side yard regulations for the purpose of constructing a room addition at 240 Cliff Cave Road, maintaining a side yard of 7 feet in lieu of 10 feet, as required by the R2 Residence District regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. All right, and Matt Markway, you are unmuted to give your presentation.
You hear me?
Yes.
Tim?
Okay. Good afternoon. I am wanting to put this rear addition on my house. My lot is actually pretty narrow. The house was built in the 1940s, and I've done a couple additions to try to expand it for my family size. We're trying to take advantage of the depth of the yard to go back, but I'm also kind of a purist when it comes to architecture. And the original house is built over the building line by almost 3 feet, and I'm wanting to maintain that same line. We're expanding for space for the family, and I'm also expanding from today's times to get more outdoor dining area for the whole family.
So it's in the rear of your home, right?
Yes.
A side yard, but, or are you on a corner?
No, I'm not on the corner. The current house sits 7
Oh.
foot.
Yeah, you just said that.
I'm
sorry.
maintaining the same straight line of the side of the house that is existing.
Right. I forgot you just said that, sorry.
Yeah.
Justin or Angelia, do you have any questions?
Any questions? I don't have any.
I don't have any at this time.
Okay, is there anyone on this that's in favor or opposition that would like to speak? Please hit the hand next to your name.
I do not see any.
Okay.
In the matter of 34-22, I make a recommendation to approve the requested variance as advertised due to the oddly shaped lot in which it becomes basically a pie-shaped lot by the end of the property.
I second it.
I'll concur. So your paperwork will be sent to you, Mr. Barclay.
Thank you very much, guys.
Okay.
Thirty-five 22 Robert Weber requests an exception to the front yard regulations for the purpose of upgrading the building facade and replacing the canopies at 8713 Gravoy Road, maintaining a front yard of 7 feet in lieu of 15 feet, as required by the C2 Shopping District regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance.
Hi there, I'm
Okay.
Clarence Olson. Can you guys all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Excellent. So I want to begin by saying the existing building footprint sits 11 foot 6 inches back from the property line. And when it says 7 feet, that includes the canopy extension of 3 feet, approximately. So I just want to point that out. So the intent of the project is to create a more cohesive aesthetic for the facade. Right now, as you're seeing this footprint, it's a building that's had multiple additions. So from the street, it appears a very unregulated facade. It's hard to tell really what the building is for. So the intent of this facade improvement will create one unified aesthetic. So the work will all be done at about, this is kind of a view of the facade. You can see there's a lot of different shapes. So all the work will be done basically from the gutter line up. So we're not extending the footprint of the building, just kind of that 8-foot line upwards. And then the new canopies will replace the existing dilapidated canopies and that vestibule you see there in that photograph.
So if I understood you correctly, you're not going to go out any further than that?
Correct.
Right now, you were just going to want to go up further?
Correct, yes. So we're basically going to be adding trusses on top of the existing roof structure to make it have a little bit more height and presence. And that's going to wrap the front of the building with cladding, new metal cladding, to create a more singular aesthetic. And there should be an elevation view of the design.
I don't believe I have that. I'm not sure, Debbie.
It's probably in the plan here. Yeah,
Should be on the last page. Sorry about that.
okay.
So the existing facade will be painted below the new work. That's the rendition there. So you can see we're adding basically like a parapet.
Parapet wall, yeah.
Yep. And then 2 new canopies over the doors.
Does the existing building meet setbacks? Or I know the canopies exceed it, but does the existing building meet setbacks?
The existing building is roughly 11'6" back, and the setback is 15 feet. So the hardship is that it's constructed over the setback. I guess it predates the setbacks.
Okay, that's all my questions.
Okay. Angelia, did you have any other question?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Is there anyone on this that's in favor or opposition to this? Please hit the hand by your name to speak.
I don't see anyone.
All right, 35-22. I'm going to vote to approve the variance as advertised. The hardship being the need for identification. And I know, this building I'm sure was done before zoning, and a lot of these were built really close to the street. And they're really not going out any further than this, even though they're going to add 2 other ones and take this one away. Mostly going to go up to update the look of the building for identification.
I second it.
I'll concur.
Okay, we'll send you your paperwork.
Thank you all.
Uh-huh.
Abby, why don't you see who the call-in user is in case it's that earlier petitioner?
Okay. If you called in, can you identify yourself, please?
I've called in. My name's Michael Miners. I'm on the last item.
Perfect. All right. I will read this into the record, and then you'll be able to speak on the petition. Okay. 36-22 Schwartz, Dalton, Shillington box requests an exception to the front yard regulations for the purpose of providing required parking spaces at 3501 Tree Court Industrial Boulevard, maintaining a front yard of 4 feet in lieu of 15 feet as required by the M1 Industrial District Regulations and Section 1003.165 off-street parking and loading requirements of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. Okay, Mr. Miners.
Okay, I am representing Shillington Box. They're at 3501 Tree Court Industrial Boulevard and Tree Court Industrial Park. They're currently proposing an expansion, an addition to their building of 40,612 square feet. They will be retaining 46,318 square feet of the existing building, so that the total building will be about 86,000 square feet. The original building was constructed in 1966, and some truck docks were added. That's what the records show. And truck docks were added from a site plan that I have recovered in 1996. The original building was set back 70.25 feet from the right-of-way on the side of the building that's to the north, and then there's a little bump out that would put it about 67.25 feet. The original setback, I'm not sure what the original setback for parking was, but they do have some parking that's out close to the right-of-way right now, not a lot. We understood that there had been a change of the setback in the zoning district for parking to be set back 15 feet from the right-of-way line. With that setback, it makes it difficult for us to, we're trying to get 80 parking spots for the site with the expansion. It isn't necessary that they need all of those spots at once, so with the shift changes, it would help to have more parking available for the employees coming and going. The change in the setback basically will not allow us to have 90-degree parking on each side of a drive aisle in front of the building. We did look at angle parking, and it's a little bit disruptive for our traffic flows. The drive aisle to the north is used by trucks extensively. We're actually adding more truck docks and more trailer parking spaces at the back of the property, away from Tree Court Industrial Boulevard. We would like to continue our plan with the 90-degree parking on each side of a drive aisle between the building and Tree Court Industrial Boulevard. We currently have a plan that has angle parking on the south side of the building where cars would travel out towards Tree Court Industrial Boulevard, and setting up another one-way drive aisle in front of the building would be a little bit disruptive with the traffic flow. Also, there is room on the site for potential more parking on the north side of the building. However, that's the main travel way for all the trucks, and we don't think it'd be a safe spot for people to be backing out of parking spaces with a significant amount of trucks they're having deliver to the site. There currently is 7 feet of green space between the back of curb and the property line. We're proposing 4 feet of green. So granted, that's only 11 feet total. We did present a landscape plan prepared by Doug DeLong, a landscape architect, and did revise that to try to meet the request of the planning department on the types of plants to be planted. You may notice on the aerial, GIS aerial I submitted, that the business across the way does park right up, to the right-of-way line, and many other businesses do within the industrial park. So we're graciously requesting to allow a variance from the 15-foot setback for parking along Tree Court Industrial Boulevard to 4 feet. We do have a right-of-way that we on the back side of our property. We're not requesting a variance there. We'll maintain the 15 feet along that right-of-way line. And I'd be happy to try to answer any questions.
I do apologize. I forgot that we did have a staff report. for this petition. If Paul, if you wanted to reiterate what was in that report.
Sure. And I don't know if I was included in Janet's opening remarks. So just for the record, my name is Paul Weatherford. I'm a staff planner with the St. Louis County Department of Planning. And I've been reviewing this site plan. The department is recommending approval of this petition. We've been working with Mike on making revisions to the plan. We understand his and agree with his concerns about having the one-way traffic in front of the building. Really, if a vehicle is circling around, looking for somewhere to park and is forced to go onto the street to get back into the development, we would like to reduce as many turning movements as possible. Additionally, that 15-foot parking setback also serves as the front yard landscape buffer. And so, Mike has, as he mentioned, he's been working with a landscape architect to present an alternative landscape plan, since there really wouldn't be space for trees to be planted as required. So what he has submitted in terms of an alternative landscape plan includes Missouri native shrubs and grasses to sort of plant what they can, I guess, within that space that's given. So we are recommending approval at this time.
Okay, thank you. And Julia, or Justin, do you have any questions?
I'm good at this point.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Is there anyone on this that's in favor or opposition to this petition? If you would like to speak, hit the hand by your name, please.
Hearing none.
I believe so.
Okay. 36-22, I vote to approve the variance as advertised.
I'll second that.
I'll concur. So your paperwork will be sent to you, Mr. Miners.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So Abby, did the other person ever, Mr. Picker, ever come on that you could see?
I believe so. If anyone is on the call to represent 31-22 Stephen Picker, can you send a message to the generic host in the chat? I am not seeing anything.
All right, well, 31-22, we will continue in 2 weeks.
Sounds good.
I think that's the end of the meeting.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Everybody have a happy Easter.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, see you in 2 weeks.